Okay. All right, this is going to be a demonstration for doing your practice photo composite assignment. All right, so basically what you're going to end up doing is I'm going to have you look at a bunch of different images, resources, but the basic concept of what we're doing today, though, is we're gonna create a person reading a book and kind of having like a little glow effect from the book. So this kind of relates to like value and incorporating those things in the photo. So one thing that we will do with the picture though is we're going to cut out a picture of somebody reading a book from one of these images here. Then we're going to incorporate either a cityscape or landscape in your drawing. You can do either or, it's fine. Oops. And then, kind of put it all together in a photo and then just adjust the lighting accordingly to, kind of match all the photos. So for this particular assignment, you can go really, really crazy or in depth with the photo composite experimentation. So, this here's an example of like how they did this one here. This one's really cool. They kind of collage like a couple of different photos together and created like this photo here. So I'm basically going to show you guys how to do this. I'm not going to go over like a lot of the super detailed things, but at least like something to, kind of get you started with experimenting. And then I noticed this website's blocked though, but this is like where I kind of grab these, ideas, resources on things. He has a couple of these really cool like GIF files, step-by-steps on like how he did these images. I thought it was pretty cool to look at this. So, when you have time at home or you can do this on your phone, just take a look at that website to get some other ideas. All right, so to get started with this assignment, I'm actually going to do this one over again just to demonstrate for today. You're going to, look at a couple of different images. So the first one is, you want to look at the reading book images. Take a look at all these different images that you want to use for reading a book. So some are sitting further away, some are a little bit more closer up. Obviously some of these ones are sitting closer up. They're either really closer to the picture or, I don't know, maybe you might want to like Photoshop something in front of them like a bush or anything. Find one that works like best for you in terms of the images. I feel like the ones that are a little bit easier, like the ones that actually like you have like a full body. It's easy to cut out. But depending on like what your photos are, you'll have to just kind of work with what you have. In most cases, it's gonna be like photos that you've taken that you want to photo collage together. So okay, so I'm just gonna use like that same image that I had before. I'm just gonna click drag this into Photoshop. So part of this assignment today is, I do want you guys to get more familiar with, more comfortable with doing Photoshop on the computer. The only issue with the iPads is it's limited to some of the tools and features. There's a lot of tools and features on the computers that the iPad versions don't have. So, from here on forward, though, I'm going to recommend doing it on the computer, but definitely like anything you could do off the computer, like, if you want to just do some simple photo collaging, just adjusting the lightings, definitely you could do that on the iPad. And in terms of like support and help, though, I'm probably gonna tell you guys to just take it to the computer version of Photoshop, just because I'll be honest with you, like the interfaces on both are like so different. So like I'm gonna act like I don't know what I'm doing on the iPad because it's been a while since I used like the Photoshop version of the iPad. This I've used like for several years. They've changed a couple things on here, but I'm like way more familiar on the computer version of this program. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is you're just gonna cut the image out. So very similar to like what we did before. You will use you click and hold the mouse button to pull your extra tools, and you're gonna use the quick selection tool, and then we're just going to select your subject. So one thing you'll notice too with the computer version of the Photoshop with the quick selection tool, this actually works a lot more better than the iPad version. But one benefit of the iPad version though is you have like the pen to just manually clean up your picture to cut it out. So it's a lot easier to like erase your the picture because basically what we're doing is we're just cutting out this image. This one's pretty accurate in terms of like the pixels and where it's going to select. Unless if you have like a blue background, like a blue shirt, like this literally will cut it out pretty well. And there's other features here like a select subject, and you know, like the cool thing about Photoshop now is there's like a lot of auto features. I don't recommend using the auto features unless if you're really pressed for time. You know, try to use like the quick selection tool, but there is like a select subject tool that will just select the subject for you. And you know, I don't really recommend using it just because, you know, you don't know what's going to select as a subject for your picture. Okay, so I selected pretty much all of my subject. You know, do make sure you go pretty close. If you're wondering like how I'm pulling this hand tool, I'm just holding the spacebar key on the keyboard. So I'm just using spacebar key to navigate around. Just click drag. This is pretty good. So yeah, remember the plus tool will select it. The minus will deselect. So you know, there's some parts the computer picked up when I clicked on it, so I had to just deselect those parts. So you have to kind of go back and forth. It's just a process with it in Photoshop. Oops. So Command Z will undo. So I'm probably going to provide you guys some hotkeys to help you with you know, a couple of things, but you know, probably like what you'll spend most of the day today is going to just be like, you know, getting used to and getting comfortable with the tools. Okay, this is pretty good though. I'm noticing everything's getting cut out pretty neatly. So I'm gonna click on selected mask to cut it out. Make sure to change it to these default settings. It might be on Onion. I usually like the overlay just because you know, it's really easy to see like what's red, what's not, you know, what needs cleaning up. You can leave this stuff alone. I would just click on decontaminate colors to kind of refine the edges more, and then just change to a new layer with layer mask. So you want to use the refine brush tool. So this is like the same tool we used before. This, you know, you just want to clean up the edges. So like I'm clicking on the hair specifically just because this is like what the tool is meant for. It cleans up those little edges to cut it out a lot better. I noticed this part of the book got cut out, so I'm just going to select that too. So this actually kind of brings back some of the areas that you need. And I'm noticing like this little neck area, some of it got a little bit erased. So I can just click on that to clean it up a little bit more. I mean, I didn't really clean it up, but you know, we can kind of refine it a little bit more later. I'm just kind of like just touching up some of the areas that I can touch up. So this actually cut out pretty nicely. I'm just reselecting. So anything that's red though is going to delete. Anything that's, you know, in color, that will stay the same. So I know this is like a big chunk right here. I didn't mean to select. You can also go back to your selection tool here and then just reselect the background. This will do it through the you know, through the selection tool here. So oops, got too much of that leg. So you know, you can't get it exactly like the way you want it though. We can do like one more pass through with your brush tools. Okay, so this looks pretty good though. I'm gonna click OK, and then that will cut out my image for me. So I'm just going to just double check some of those areas. You know, we can kind of go over it again with the you know, your brush tool. I made my brush like way too big. I was doing some final edits earlier. So, you know, you could take your time to clean up the edges more. So the white will bring back the person. I need to change this to 100. For some reason the genes were really bad on this particular one. So white will bring it back, black will erase. So, I mean, from far away though, you probably won't notice these little things. I'm just doing them just to clean it up more. Okay, just for the sake of time though, I'm not gonna like clean up everything though, but I will kind of clean up some of these edges a little bit better. I'm gonna bring back some of this hair here. Oops. Got a little funny with the way I cut it out. Okay, but you know, far away though, you really can't tell though. Alright, this is pretty good. Just gonna bring that book back a little bit. Okay. Alright, so now you have your image cut out. Okay, real important for like this next part, because we're gonna have to actually modify and edit these the photo later. Just make sure you're happy with like the way it's cut out, because we're gonna do something where we're gonna make it like a smart object, and we can do some more editing on it. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna crop the photo. So just recrop it. So if you want them to be like a little bit more further in the background, you can crop out to make your picture bigger. In this case, I'm gonna bring them a little bit closer, and I'm gonna change it from a horizontal to a vertical composition. So remember, you can utilize like the rule of thirds for this, and just double click it to resize it again. So one thing you'll notice too is when you cut the image out, sometimes it may have like a weird, weird line that shows up on the top. For some reason you can only see it from like this distance. So you see like this black line right here. I'm just gonna erase that. So go on the layer mask, change to black. So remember, black will always erase it. So this happens when you crop your images. It's just something natural that happens because it doesn't get like the very edge of the page when it cuts it out. So, okay, and then from here though, you just add your background. So if you wanted to take it even further, like I showed you in that video, you can collage multiple photos together. I think this is actually really cool and interesting to do, just because you might not be able to get like the exact background or shot you want in your particular photo. So definitely use like PhotoComposite as like a tool to modify, change your backgrounds to any way that you want. Kind of like the whole point of the PhotoCompositing is you're able to get the composition exact photo that you want, because naturally, like when you do your candid photos, it's really hard to be able to do all of that. So you can choose this photo. I'm just going to choose this one because this was the one that I practiced. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Just remember, when you add the photos, you have to just change the layers. So I would just move it behind the person here. Oops. I double clicked it, it moved in another picture. I'm going to move behind here so we can add them. So definitely got to resize this image because he's definitely way too big for that car. So just kind of keep that in mind when you do collage like photos together. I'm gonna zoom out just to eyeball the whole composition. You definitely have to resize things to kind of make sense with what's happening in the picture. So I actually like this composition here. I'm actually gonna move him down a little bit lower. I noticed something funny happening with his legs, and that was because he was like standing on a rock earlier. So I'm going to move him down further, and since he's closer to the picture, it's like he doesn't, it's not really he's affected by like the perspective because, he's like really close to us. Okay, so you have these two parts here, and then you're gonna add the special effect. So I'm gonna give you guys another folder to look at. This is a folder I gave my computer graphics students when we did their movie posters. Trying to find where that link is. Recent. So I'll give you access to this folder though. This is gonna give you a lot of different like special effects things you can include in your I want to say your practice, and you can feel free to use this for your projects too. These are just some special effects I just collected, gathered. These are obviously other people's things, works that you're using, but just remember though, like as long as you kind of manipulate the tool or effect or what you're using, because you're gonna affect it, utilize it or manipulate it in different ways. So. That was like one of the things they say to avoid plagiarism is just manipulating the tools online. So you just click on it, download it on your computer. I already downloaded this lightning effect already, so I'm just gonna click and drag this onto here. So just remember with like lighting effects where it's like a black background, you can always change like the overlay. So that's a quick, easy way to cut out the background. So you can just change the overlays. I'm probably gonna use screen for this one, but kind of like go through them though, see which one's like the best. So I'm probably gonna use screen for this one. Screen or, that one's pretty good too. Actually, let's use line. Line's a little bit better. So one thing you'll notice too is there's like a really weird like white line. So that's like where I cropped the picture. So just remember you have to use the layer mask. So you would click down here. This is the layer mask button here. Create that white box, and then we can just erase that line. So just remember to change this to 100, erase the line, and then we can use like the effect. So there is like a weird glow or hint. So if you don't want that glow to be so apparent, you can also edit the photo itself. So we go to image, edit. You can change the levels. So I do recommend doing this, if you want to just adjust the lighting a little bit more. So levels is a little bit different. So this is like going to adjust your brightest whites. This will adjust actually this is going to adjust your whites. This one's like your darknesses. So it's making like a little bit more darker moving that way. And then this is like your midtones. So we'll just kind of play around with that a little bit just to make it a little bit cleaner. I don't want that blue haze to be in the picture. So we got that there. We're going to move this here, and obviously we're going to do a few more edits. So okay, so one thing we got to do though, after you kind of done like the cutting, editing, I do want you to just change these into smart objects. So what happens when you if you right click on here, convert to smart object, it's basically just going to merge all your things that you edited into one layer. And then that way we can add another layer mask and then, cut out what we need. So, I do want to make this look like it's in the book. So, the layer mask, we're going to just zoom in close. And, I would just use the brush stroke for this. Just take your time just to erase, what's in the photo here. And, kind of have it like fit, like go in the book. And, take your time with this. The white will bring it back, and the black will erase. Should go behind the book here. Okay, so now we have like this glow effect happening here. We have this picture here. So same thing with your portrait. You want to convert this to a smart object. So right click on the name here, convert to smart object. So, we have to do like a few more edits on this particular photo. So, okay. So, one thing we have to do is we're going to have to give the portrait a blue tone to it. So, we're going to do an adjustments layer. So, you click on this button here for your adjustments panel, go to color balance. So, I like color balance. You could use hue and saturation, but color balance, just changes the picture a little bit, but we want to try to give it more of a bluer tone for the picture. So definitely go to blue right here, and then cyan will make it a little bit into like a different kind of blue. So I do the midtones, shadows, do all those things, but try to match it to like the to the effect that you're using, because that's one of the details you want to do to mesh the photos together, is to get the effect and the colors to match. So okay, this is like before, after. So, and then you would apply it to like that one layer. So you see how like it's applying the whole blue to the background here. You could keep it all blue if you want. I'm gonna do like some contrasting colors. So if I click on this down tab here, it will only affect the layer with the person there. Okay, so once you got that going, you can add another adjustments layer to it. So next thing we'll do is like brightness and contrast. So, just kind of adjust the brightness and contrast, and just click on this down tab just so it applies on the person. Just to, make it a little bit brighter. Not too bright though, but we're just kind of just fixing the lighting on the person, just to match the effect on there. So you got those two effects going on there, and then this is going to be like the last step that you're going to do. So we're going to experiment with the dodge and burn tool in the program. So my recommendation though, this layer here you have with the person, just make a copy of it. So duplicate the layer. So this is just in case you mess up with the dodge and burn tool, because it's really easy to mess it up. And then when you add that layer, you have to go back and put this on the down tab just to apply it on that layer again. But You definitely want to make a copy of this though, because it's easy to mess up the dodge and burn tool if you get like too crazy with it. So it's this one right here. It's under the blur tool. But generally for like the dodge and burn tool, burn will, and you have to click on it to raster as the object. So just click OK on that. So we're gonna zoom in a little bit. So the burn tool is going to create your shadows. So, you have like your highlights here, but basically you're just like kind of creating like lighting for your photo. So, I can make like this part a little bit darker up here. This part is probably going to be darker over here. So everything like on this side is going to be like all darker. You can get like a really big brush and just go like, making this all dark here. So you don't want to go too crazy with it though. So I'm gonna undo this a little bit. It's really easy to go like super crazy with it because if I keep going like this and this, it's gonna get like super dark and it's gonna like look very unnatural. So just something to keep in mind of when you're using the dodge and burn tool, and just so it's not that extreme, you can even like you can also change the opacity too. So if you go a little crazy with it, you can lower the opacity. It'll just go back to the original. And then the next part is, burn is going to make it darker. The dodge tool will make it brighter. So, I definitely want to highlight the face a little bit more. So, maybe just like highlight certain parts. And I always like using a big brush too. It's like, at least like the big brush, you can get like a big area at once. So. And if you want to get like even detail in the highlights, like on the nose, the forehead, lips. Okay, so you can kind of see it before and after. So you almost kind of create your own shadows on your photography in a way. Okay, so now we have like this really nice photo here, so we have to kind of make it match with the background as well. So, if you wanted to, the original photo I had here, I actually took these off, and, it might just be fine just as is, but if you want to like have like a little bit of contrasting backgrounds, I might want to do like and then you gotta do this on top layer, do another color balance, maybe make it like more of like an orange picture. That could be neat looking, making it look a little bit more orange for the entire photo. So you can do shadows and the midtones. You can get a little bit of blue, doesn't hurt. So, if you notice it being a little bit too orange, just remember though, you can always, and I'm using these bracket keys to make it bigger and smaller. Go to the, your brush tool, I would just change it to 30. And you can kind of like go over it a few times with the black. So this will kind of bring it back to like that blue tone that we had before. So if it's not too extreme, or you don't want it too extreme, you can always adjust it that way. Okay, that's pretty much it. And then if you want to add like another effect to it, you can go to your original background you did, apply a Geschwomb blur. I always like doing the the blur. Nice little detail you can add for your depth of field. All right. Okay, that's what you're gonna do for today though for your practice assignment.